My name is Susan Sanderson, and I am the Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer at Embrace Living Communities. I've had the privilege of calling Embrace Living Communities my professional home for over 35 years, and our work is very near and dear to my heart. Thank you very much for choosing to be a part of the Embrace Living family. In this video series, Embrace Living Communities team members, your colleagues, will be sharing important information about the organization's history, vision, values, purpose, and culture. I will help guide your learning as well. You will hear what it means to be a member of this great organization and some valuable insights of ways we create affordable homes that offer a warm welcome to all. Please enjoy this look into how residents and fellow team members are embracing life to the fullest. To understand the identity of our organization today, it is important to know details about its past. The author and historian H.M.J. Klein once said, "One cannot really know anything until he knows how it came to be." Embrace Living Communities' history is long, special, and celebrated. And most importantly, our mission throughout our history has evolved with the times to address the changing needs of those we serve or have served in order to create the most meaningful impact possible. This is illustrated in our historical timeline that we will share now. On May 5, 1895, the cornerstone for the German Evangelical Orphanage and Old People's Home of Northern Illinois was put into place. Driven by the mission, "The love of Christ compels us," 13 pastors from churches affiliated with the United Church of Christ spent 2 years planning and developing an organization that served 27 children and 9 elders from the start. It was the first version of the organization we all call our employment home today. By 1897, the orphanage and home building was getting crowded, so the building was expanded in 1901 to house a gym and a chapel for the children. The building was expanded again in the 1920s to serve more elders and children. Our organization remained an orphanage and senior home for 4 decades, but in 1943, foster care services were added. With this addition, the first social service worker was hired, and the program quickly became an important part of the organization's mission. To address the change, the organization was renamed the Bensenville Home Society in 1945. This was also the year of our 50th anniversary. In addition to the new name, a new mission statement was written. The statement read, "Christian Faith into Action." It was an exciting and inspiring time, but some difficult decisions had to be made as well. Most significantly, leadership decided to phase out residential living for children and move the focus to senior nursing care and transitional foster care services. To develop nursing care services for elders, the Freeport Nursing Home was opened in 1951 to serve people in the Western Prairie area of Illinois. Most significantly, this was the first service offered outside the main campus. By 1952, Senior Nursing Care Services became the largest program within the organization, so leadership decided to deepen their focus on senior care. With a new focus, staff started to work on another nursing home called the Bensenville Peatone Home. The building was completed in 1955 and quickly made an impact for seniors and their families living south of the Bensenville, Illinois area. For 10 years, the focus remained on senior care, but in 1965, a new direction was introduced to once again serve children and families by adding preschool and adoption services. So, over the next several years, a new mission to provide, in the context of faith, health and human services for children, families, and aging was put into action. From 1975 to 1980, 3 new buildings were built to serve seniors. Most significantly, Castle Towers in Bensenville, Illinois, was built in 1980 and was the first affordable housing community developed in partnership with the Department of Housing and Urban Development. During this time, child and family services also grew. Social services like adoption and foster care began serving people all over northern Illinois. Significant growth continued through the 80s. Several new housing communities were developed across the Chicago area, and new child welfare programs were introduced, including an international adoption program that connected children and families in Korea, India, China, and the Philippines. We quickly became known as a provider of quality housing services and human service programs by HUD, and in 1987, the organization was renamed again to LifeLink Corporation to convey the organization's multidisciplinary programs and services. Under the new name, several more housing buildings were developed in the late 80s. North Orchard Place was one of the communities developed in 1988, and it became the first housing community designed for individuals living with physical challenges when it opened in 1989. Also during this time of growth, housing operations reached outside of Illinois for the first time with the development and opening of Bethel Greencastle in Kansas City, Missouri in 1991. In 1992, 9 new communities were acquired in the Chicago area from Advocate Healthcare System, a United Church of Christ organization, and in 1993, the first community in Florida was opened. It was named Orchard Place of Sarasota. Throughout the mid-90s, more communities opened in Illinois and Florida, and on the 100th year anniversary of the organization in 1995, the 23rd community opened as Greencastle of Palatine. Furthermore, during our 100th year, a new mission focus was introduced that guided the next several years of our work. It was linking hope to life. In the late 90s, more housing communities continued to open, and it became obvious that housing was the core competency for the organization, and therefore a more disciplined focus would be required to grow it for the future. The focus on housing became even clearer by 2005 when difficult economic times forced organization leadership to sell some of the nursing homes. A few years after housing became the focus, HUD discontinued funding for new affordable buildings, presenting new challenges for future growth. This change caused our future property additions to come by acquisition or management arrangements. This change required leadership to further prioritize the services offered in order to adapt with the change. Therefore, in 2010, the decision was made to discontinue all the children and family services, including the International Adoption Program. Like with previous major changes in our history, this one led to a new organization name. The new name was Consacra Housing Network. The name was intended to communicate our commitment to housing while providing people with an understanding of the organization's reach and impact. And as Consacra Housing Network, 4 communities in Rockford, Illinois were acquired in 2016. However, the new name did not resonate with team members or our residents, so it was decided that a new name would be created to accurately reflect the mission and work of the organization. So, in 2017, after much exploration and planning, Embrace Living Communities was introduced as our name along with a new mission statement to provide actively aging adults affordable, welcoming homes in communities that embrace living. Our new name and mission has been cemented in place, much like that original cornerstone for the German Evangelical Orphanage and Old People's Home was in 1895. It inspires our work for generations to come. It's team members like you that will provide the experience conveyed in our mission and make a lasting impact to the residents and their families we serve compassionately every day. We all are a critical part of the Embrace Living journey now and for the future.